is death, what dies, and what doesn't. Death in some cultures, it's a taboo. It's something you don't talk about. It's seen like a trauma. Like for kids, you hide it because it's something sad. It's something that people don't know about it. But in other cultures, it's the reason of being. It's the reason of living. Okay, it's a whole path to wisdom. Okay, it's a path to honor, to die with honor. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about what happens during that time that we are supposedly dead. There is a judgment. What happens during that judgment? What do they have in mind when we are being judged? How can we see our judgment too? What practices can we do? Okay, and what doesn't die? Okay, so that's what this is going to be about. Okay, so there are three kinds of death that we're going to speak about today. The death of the physical body, the second death, and the psychological death. So the death of the physical body. When a person dies, those first 72 hours, the person is not dead. Okay, they are in a state of narcolepsy. Okay, if you remember years ago, our grandparents would tell us that when they would open a person's, I forgot the name, it would be scratched or the person would be turned. Okay, or you could have seen that the person was buried alive and the person was screaming. So in their face, when they opened them, they would know like they were so that's, they began to notice that people were being buried alive. Okay, unfortunately nowadays when we die, right away they take out our organs and officially dead. Okay, but that is not supposed to be done. When a person dies, you could see that any culture, they would wait 3 days, 72 hours to see if the person would return back or if they would be dead. Okay, it's because the judgment lasts 72 hours. The judgment that we're going to talk about today is going to be according to the Book of the Dead of the Egyptian. And also, if you look it up in the Book of the Tibet, that they have one also that they talk about death, you're going to see that they are almost the same. Okay, in different words, but they are two different cultures telling us the same. Okay, when the body dies, we're going to have those 72 hours. But the first 5 minutes, right away, when the person is clinically dead, those first 5 minutes, what they're going to do is show the person their whole life, since the moment they die until they were born, or since they were born until the moment that they die. What is this for? To remind the person all that they did during their life. Okay, so that's going to happen the first 5 minutes. Okay, 24 hours later, then we're going to go to see the judge. Okay, what are they going to judge there? Okay, they're going to see our ego. Okay, so they're going to weight them. What do I mean by this? Our different ways of beings, they're going to count them. Okay, they're going to be counted. Okay, so let's say I have different ways of being lazy. So one is sleeping 5 more minutes. So that's one way of being. Another way of being is to do my work at the last moment. Another way of being is not washing the dishes before going to bed and I leave them there. That doesn't mean it's right or wrong. I'm just giving you examples of the same thing, okay? Another way of being lazy, then I don't answer emails on time and I tell the person excuses like, oh, even though they are part of my work, I tell them that I was really busy, that I was doing so. I didn't even notice I had gotten that email. Okay, so I have different ways of being, and it's one that it's lazy, but it has different ways of being. So that's why they are being counted. So imagine how many ways of beings do we have? Have many. So since they are many, they count them and then they're going to weight them because maybe we are very, very lazy for some things. Probably to do sports. A person can be like really, really lazy and say, no, for me that's hard. I don't want to go, not even to walk. Okay? But they may not be lazy to do something else. Okay? But another person, maybe they're not lazy to read a book, okay? Another person may be the opposite. They read a book, but they are not lazy to do sport. So that's why they count each way of being and they weight them, okay? What are they going to do with this? They're going to see if it is the same as the past life, okay? So they will see if it is, how do you know if you have improved in this life? Well, we compare it to the last life. So they will check how much of that ego do I have from my past life. So let's say that now I have more or I have less. If I worked on myself, I have less. If I didn't work on myself, I have more, okay? And how much does each one weigh, and they will compare them, okay? 48 hours later, we'll go back to being judged. Here we're talking about the Egyptian culture, so we'll go back to Anubis and his 48 judges that are there with him, and now they're going to see our actions. Okay, so they're going to keep in mind our good actions and our bad actions, okay? So, I have a good action. I helped someone cross the street. That was good. A bad action. I didn't like someone, so I hide things from that person because I like to see that person get upset. So that's a bad action, okay? So, they count them, okay? How many good and bad actions do I have? Also, they're going, okay? Why? Because good and bad actions are different according to what I want, okay? So let's say because you want to go out with someone, okay? Well, you want a more serious relationship with that person, okay? So you're on your first date. And since you want to show that person that you're nice and that you're kind, on your way you find yourself a beggar, okay? So there you want to show a good action and you give this man either money or food, okay? How much does that action weigh? It is not completely from my heart, okay? But let's say that I'm alone. Nobody is seeing me, but I see this person and I do want to help. Not because I want to show this person something. No, it's because it's the real me. It's really from the bottom of my heart. So that action is going to weigh more, okay? The same thing with the bad action, okay? The bad action of hiding something from someone, well, it's not that bad, right? But what happens when we hide a secret, okay? When it's something that the person must know and I don't let that person know, and of me being quiet is going to change their life forever. So that's a real bad action. So the weight of my actions are different there. Okay, so again, they will see according to my past life how my good and my bad actions have improved, how many more do I have, how many less, and the complete answer of this is going to really say, like they're going to sum it up. That's what's going to really say soul has improved. Okay, if I have become a better person or if I'm okay. So here, according to that answer, it's what I'm going to have: karma and dharma. Okay, brief explanation. Karma are going to be the negative things that happen to us. That's why sometimes we say that I don't have luck with money, because we have karma from another existence. Okay, we see that some people have really good luck in love, and we say, my God, they're so lucky. Every person that this person goes out with is a great person, gives them really, like, you can tell is wonderful. So they have dharma. Okay, so that's what we're going to get from that life to the next one. Okay, but this is not over yet. Okay, so here they already have the answer of this. Okay, another thing that they're going to see is, or what they're going to check is our Kundalini. That means that they're going to see, what did you do with your sexual energy? Okay, how did you use it? Okay, did the person use it well to create their inner bodies, or did the person misuse this energy? Okay, so they're going to check the person's spine, and they're going to measure it to see how much fire do they have. Okay, and also they will compare it with their past life. That also gives them another answer to know how much this person worth in himself or herself. Okay, so there they will check that too. If the person has increased their level from their past life and they worked more in this life, that means that while that physical body is dead, the soul is going to go for wisdom. Okay, it's like when you got a check, you're going to go cash the check. Well, the soul is going to make this, and they're going to go cash this energy with wisdom. Okay, and they will go to heaven, where they're going to receive some wisdom. And that's why here we meet some people and we say, wow, that person has so much wisdom. It's part of their dharma and of a job that was done before. Okay, or if you do it during this life, being alive, you will have more wisdom too. Okay, so here they're still checking these things, right? Okay, so the person has 108 lives according to the book we're talking about, right? Okay, and to the color of Buddha. Okay, it's 108 lives. So what happens? They're going to check this person. In what life is this person in? So let's say, oh, this person is in life number 97. Okay, he could have another life and return. Let's say that no, this person is in life 108. What's going to happen? According to this, to the answers that they got from what they compared, they're going to decide if they give the person to have another life, because they see that they're working in themselves, that their soul and their wisdom is expanding. Okay, if they say no, forget it, this person worked a lot less. Okay, this person did in awakening their conscious, well, definitely, that's it, it's life 108. that's it, we're out. What do I mean by that's it, we're out? They will go to the infra dimensions. What's going to go into the infra dimensions? The ego. Okay, that's going to go to the infra dimensions. Why? Because this is our conscious. And the ego, it's all that black thing that we have. If I work on myself, I start cleaning these ways of being, that we'll talk about it here, the psychological death. So I can do this job consciously and volunteer. If I decided to do it during life, great. Okay? If not, when I go to the infra dimensions, well, the universe is going to do that cleaning. So it's going to clean that conscious until it's completely white. Okay? Once it's completely white, the person back here to the wheel of the samsara, and they will have another 108 lives, and they will have another opportunity to achieve their own auto-realization. Okay? So that's what they're going to decide. If they give him another chance, if he has another life, if they have another life, according to the answer of how much karma and dharma, they're going to design this person's personality. Okay? And I'm missing one thing. I know I'm missing one thing. So after, that's what I'm missing. Or they're going to decide, according to what he has done, if the person can return in that moment or not. Okay? So remember, clinically, the body is 72 hours dead, but they're here analyzing and they say, but this person still hasn't finished their mission. Maybe this person needs to go back because somebody there, so they will send him back. Unfortunately, nowadays, if they send us back, we already don't have our organs, so there's nothing to it, okay? But that's the other part, okay? So that's what the judgment is about. So here we are that there are 48 hours, but there are 72. So here, that judgment finishes. They have made a decision, they have already decided what to do with the unbodied, okay? So, when they already have made a decision, they call the angel of death, okay? That angel of death, they give him the final answer, okay? And they tell him, okay, yeah, he's ready to die. So the person, this is the person's body, this is their astral body. So they tell the angel of death to go and disconnect the person. What do they mean to disconnect? To cut the silver cord, okay? Once that silver cord is cut, the person is officially dead, okay? That angel of death has 24 hours to go and do his job. That's why it's 72, okay? There are the other 24 hours that the angel of death has to go and do this. Before he goes and do this, he's going to go to the mother of the person, the divine mother, his soul, and he's going to tell her that the judge decision was that there's no more chances, or they're going to give him another life, but that right now he was ordered that this present life he's done. Do you accept? Do you agree? If she says, yes, I agree, then whenever he will go during those 24 hours. If she doesn't agree, because it is her soul, because she is this body's mother, and if she doesn't agree, she has the last word. If she says, no, I don't agree, then he cannot go and cut the silver cord, okay? And the person will return back to life, okay? So that's what happens with the physical body. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, you can leave them there under in the comments, or you can look up my personal Facebook that is in one of the things I published, Francie, and send me the questions if you don't want them to be right there, okay? Right now I cannot answer you because my phone is not on selfie, so I am not seeing if you guys are writing, okay? So I apologize. Later on, I'll have another phone so I could see if I have comments. Okay. So there we have two more deaths to talk about. The second death. The second death is what I was telling you, that when the person is in his 108th life and they decide that that's it, that enough, that they sent his ego so the conscious can be completely clean and to return, well, when that conscious is completely clean, comes out of the infra dimensions to go to the wheel of the samsara, that is called the second death, because it's the first he physically died and then his ego completely died because it's completely cleaned and the soul comes out and starts again on the wheel of the samsara. Okay, later on it's conference, I think it's conference number 7 that will talk about the wheel of the samsara. Okay, that is one of the second death, but there are two. When the person's soul goes into the infra dimension, it is completely clean. When it comes out, that's the second death, okay, and goes back to the wheel of the samsara, and they have another 108 lives. This is done because the person consciously do the job, okay? What job? The job of cleaning his own ego. Making psychological studies that we're going to see that in a few seconds. Psychological death, okay? The person didn't do that. The person didn't work on the tantric sex and didn't help others. But if I do this consciously, I can awaken all my conscious. I can clean all my ego. So what happens when I die? They're going to take me to the judgment and they have nothing to count. I only have good actions. When they're going to count my bad ways, I'm going to find out that this person doesn't. Okay, they're going to check my spinal cord and they're going to say, oh, this person worked on the super sex practice. Okay, so he completed his inner bodies and he already has them. Okay, so this person is already ready to continue his path, and he doesn't go, there's no need for him to go into the infra dimensions because there is nothing to be clean. He already has all the job is already done. Okay, so there he is a master. He goes to the judge and they check everything and they see, wow, welcome. It's a new master in the universe. Okay, so those are the two kinds of second death. Psychological death. Okay, psychological death. So this is a person here, and the person in his mind has concepts, right? He has all the things that his culture taught him. How to eat, how to cross a street, everything about driving, depending on our culture. We have all that in our mind, okay? We have all what the family made from us, okay? According to my family, anyways, they are all concepts. I have way mind. They don't have dirty thoughts. They don't think in a negative way. Babies are pure. So we are all born pure. Okay? As soon as we begin growing, we start creating our own personality. Okay? That personality is made up of these things. Okay? It also, the ego that I made from a life before returns and starts coming back, and all of this is the owner of the physical body. Okay, so completely the ego is the one that tells the person what to do. For example, smoking cigarettes. It completely manages the physical body. Okay, it's going to make the person smoke a cigarette, want it or not. Okay, it's going to make the person feel anxious. If it goes and smoke, it's going to make the person feel happy. If the person doesn't go and smoke, it's going to make the person get upset. It's going to make the person even fight for a cigarette. Okay, it's going to make the person even beg for a cigarette. It's going to make the person even take it from the floor. Okay, do whatever, but please me. Okay, so here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 different ways of being that totally control that body, and that is just one habit, but we have millions of habits. Okay, so what I have to destroy are, how can I destroy smoking? Just by saying that's it, I'm not smoking anymore, but what am I going to do with my anxiety? What am I going to do with that anger that makes me fight? What am I going to do with that way of being that no matter what, even if I have to beg or have to do it? So I have to connect with my conscious, and that's what they call living the instant, living here and now. Okay, connect with myself, and immediately that I feel that anxious, I tell my conscious to eliminate this feeling, this anxiety. Okay, I wasn't observing myself. I already smoked that cigarette. I'm going to ask my conscious to eliminate that happy feeling that this gives me. Okay, because here we see that happiness then in this occasion it's not positive. Okay, I'm going to ask my conscious to that feeling of feeling upset because I cannot have a cigarette. Okay, to eliminate that I of me that wants to fight for a cigarette, the one that wants to make me beg for a cigarette. Okay, so always, instant from instant, I'm asking my conscious all the time to kill every way of being that is not from my conscious, it's not supposed to be there. Eliminate it, eliminate it, eliminate it. So I am there cleaning my conscious, my thoughts, my concepts, my ways of being. Okay, that's how I'm cleaning my way of being. I have to sit down and study smoking. Okay, it is just not to say that's it, I quit. That's not going to make this I, this way of being, this ego to disappear. It's not going to kill it that way. Okay, what I'm going to be there is like a repression. I want to smoke, but I don't do it. But in my mind and in my dreams, I'm still smoking. So I haven't killed this. Okay, and I need to eliminate it. How do I eliminate it? Making comprehensions. Sitting down to study this. How do I study? I go back and I say, how did I begin smoking? Why did I begin smoking? Okay, because I have older brothers and I saw that they smoke. Everybody in my family smokes, so for me it was easier. Or because I was very shy at school, and when I began junior high school, I saw that it was cool to smoke and I wanted to be accepted, so I began smoking. Because I turned on videos and the cool singers all smoke, so I have a concept that smoking is cool. Because I open a magazine and what I see right away is Marlboro and a beautiful looking. So immediately all of this is feeding my conscience that this makes me look better, gives me attitude. Okay, so there I understand that smoking. Maybe it's because I feel lonely, and smoking in that moment makes me feel better. It's a way of feeling company. Or because it was a way of me being a rebel. Because they didn't let me go out, they didn't let me be with my friends, they didn't even let me choose how to dress. So a way to be a rebel with my parents was smoking, and that's how the person began. So you start studying all of this, okay, and asking your conscience for everything that you understand there, to kill it, to kill it, to kill it. That all becomes comprehension, okay? When that anxiety starts, how does it start? Okay, well, it doesn't let me sleep. Okay, and if it doesn't let me sleep, I get upset. Okay, and if I get upset, I start fighting. So I start writing all of this down. This is letting me know my own self. It's giving me my own knowledge. It's teaching me why I should destroy it. It's showing me why I don't have control over my own body. So it's great because you're learning about yourself. Okay, so I keep making that deep study. Okay, is it worth it? I mean, really, ask yourself. When you see a grandparent walking with that pipe of oxygen, isn't it sad? So you ask yourself, I mean, really, do I really love myself? Is that how I want to be when I get old? No, I don't love myself. If I love, I wouldn't do that to myself. Okay, so there I am making more comprehensions. Okay, am I loving others? No, because I'm polluting their air. If I'm a mother and if I'm pregnant and I'm smoking, that's also affecting the baby. Okay, and after I have the baby, that air, even if you're in the window, I have asthma. Even if a person, my neighbor from downstairs smokes. He goes out to the backyard and smokes. If I have my window open, I start coughing because he smokes. So, am I loving other human beings? Am I harming other? I am. So definitely, is it worth it? Is it useful? Is smoking part of my conscious? No, it isn't, right? So there I am making comprehensions. I am understanding why I shouldn't smoke, okay? If I do this job instant from instant to be killing all of these things and making comprehensions of why I shouldn't do this, the time will come when I really have made a full understanding of it, and this is going to be gone consciously. To want a cigarette, consciously I'm going to understand others. Consciously I'm going to be able to help others how to stop smoking, why to stop smoking, and not making them feel bad. Okay, so there I have done the job of killing a psychological defect by myself consciously. So if I do it consciously, it's going to die because I did the job. If I don't do the job, it's the job that it's done in the infra dimensions. So that is what it's called, the psychological death. Okay? The second part of the conference, what dies? The physical part is what's going to die first. Okay, so the physical body dies. The vital body dies. Okay, the ego dies depending if it's my 108 life and they go to the infra dimensions, they will be clean there and they will die there. Okay, if I am not in my 108th life, I don't have to go to the infra dimensions. I must return. The ego is going to return with me. So if you have a child, you will notice how he starts changing, and you say, but I don't understand why he has that way of being, why he has that habit if nobody has shown him. It's because that way of being returned from a past life. So they will continue coming back according to the age that it was created. Okay, so that would be what doesn't die. Okay, so that is what dies. About what dies, some people have access when you die, if to be buried or to be burned. The best thing is to be burned. If the body can be burned, the personality is going to die faster. What do I mean by the personality? Is that soul that the people say that it goes and says bye to the people, or what they call a haunted house, that they know that the dead person is there. When we die, we are not conscious that we're dead, so we go back and do the things that we used to do before. So in order for that personality to die faster, that energy that is the one that walks around, if the body is burned, it will disappear faster. It will fade away. What doesn't die? Our conscious. Okay, our conscious, you could call it your essence, you could call it your being, that little piece of God, that little piece of energy, however you want to call it. Okay, that doesn't die. That is the only thing that we have eternal. Okay, what happens with this eternal spirit? That it came to this world for wisdom. Okay, it came to learn. How does it learn? Doing this. Okay, if I do this, there's going to be more conscious. There's going to be more light. Okay, if I don't do this, then the conscious is not going to expand. The essence is not going to be so bright, and it will be the same being that came before. So it will live with the same wisdom. If I work on myself, that's always going to stay, because I'm going to always be more conscious. Even if I die and I return, I am more conscious. I have more light. I have more of that being, of the real of who I am. Okay? So just to finish this, just remember that the reason of being of the essence is its own essence or its own conscious. So the reason of being of this spirit is himself. He came here for more wisdom. That's all what he came for. Okay? So this conscious and this essence or way of, or this real being is pure wisdom, and it comes for more wisdom, and it comes to work for service to help others without charging. Okay, you can see that all essence, that everybody, that animals and the humankind all came just to help each other, just to grow, to discover their own essence. Okay, so this is the real reason of dying. The real reason of dying is to be reborn in more conscience, in more light, in more wisdom. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me just remind you that on Facebook, always at the same time, every Wednesday, we will have a conference. Okay, so this is conference number 2. Conference number 3, conference number 3 is going to be about unfolding, astral projection, how to do the practice. Okay, plus if you guys want to know how to remember a past life, how to prove that what in that book of the dead is real, how the judgment happens, you are able to see it in an astral unfoldment. Okay, so that's what the next conference is going to be about. What is astral projection? How do you do the practice? There on my Facebook, I have already a guided practice, but we'll talk about unfolding deeply. Okay? Guys, thank you so much.